River Thames, true cradle of England's history. The Thames, in whose lower reaches come and go the merchant ships of the world, with their many cargoes of incalculable worth. From her docklands' teeming wharves, Mother Thames snakes back to the solitude of Cotswold Hills, place of her birth, flowing by historic Kingston, where Saxon kings were crowned 1,000 years ago, by Cardinal Wolsey's Hampton Court, Windsor, still a residence of kings, Taplow, Maidenhead, Henley, world famous for its regatta, Reading, all the beauty spots that lie along the lovely Pangbourne Reach, Wallingford, quaint Abingdon, and scholarly Oxford, all places that the railways have brought within rapid access of the city-weary Londoner. But first to Kingston. Kingston, a great place for boating and fishing, a place where London's holiday makers come by Southern Region electric trains to join the little river steamers, either for a short local trip or for the whole 2-day journey upstream to Oxford.
And so I came again, Miranda, and am standing just where we'd stood together some months ago, on that same little pier, with one of those useful combined rail and steamer tickets in my pocket, watching the early mists lifting from the river, and the little knot of fellow passengers booking their trips. Over there are the inevitable swans, trying to avoid the black sheep of their family, who's turned up again, I see. The little steamer with whom I'm to live for 2 tranquil days, while she chugs upstream to Oxford, looks cosy and trim as we wait to cast off. Strollers on the towpath, although used to the daily departures of these steamers during the summer months, stop to admire and may be envious as we breast the stream convoyed by attendant waterfowl. And from the deck, with a reciprocal interest, I watch the local schoolboys fishing in their own Tom Tiddler's grounds. Along the route Cardinal Wolsey took over 400 years ago to his great palace at Hampton Court. Hampton Court, that harmonious blending of the 16th and 18th centuries, a noble pile where the Tudor rose blows in a garden of Georgian calm and serenity. The magnificence of royal palaces and the friendliness of riverside homes are things the Thames links within yards of its leisurely flow. On this silver stream, the river people pass the summer days at their own peaceful pleasures, in their own particular way. To them, no man in a constant hurry is really quite civilized. You'd remember Shepperton, Miranda, a village since Doomsday, and still possessing a rural charm. A place where the river's message seriously invades one's consciousness, mine especially, while trees and fields are tricked in the fugitive glory of their summer dress. Chertsey, too, and the way in which the steamers dip their funnels in salute as they splash under the bridge there. Stewart tells me some of the funnels are being shortened now to avoid this. The The old red duster floats bravely above the wash we're churning up astern, and skipper, with eyes fixed ahead, is bent on getting us to Belware. Belware Lock, and it's well named, so typical of all the Thames locks. Focal points where we trippers and the river folk meet in friendly communion, where the arrival of our boat is an event, where the empty hours are suddenly filled with a gathering of people who meet in a brief encounter and then depart, perhaps never to meet again. And now the weir, all conversation drowned in its blissful garrulity, eyes momentarily dazzled by the flash of its tumbling waters. Runnymede. By signing the Magna Carta here in 1215, King John made it the birthplace of English liberty. I'm told that the English still take liberties with each other here, especially at weekends. Old Windsor Lock next, outer barrier to the lovelier reaches of the Thames. Do you remember the lock-keeper's funny pup you fondled on our last trip, Miranda? There he is. Fine dog now, just as friendly. In fact, the whole lock is a friendly sort of place, perhaps because it's so easy to reach by road, rail and river. You've got me doing it too, puss. 'Tis nice watching someone else do the work, isn't it? All we have to do is to enjoy the sunshine and the scenery. I don't know how many of my fellow passengers are going the whole way to Oxford, but they seem happy enough now. And so they should be, with so much to delight the senses at this time of the year, when one season trespasses on another, while the sun is warm, the air is sweet, and the river looks so inviting. Remember the thrill we had, Miranda, when first we saw Windsor's great castle from the river, bosom deep in tufted trees and set high above the stream-linked meadows? Well, here I am again at the nearby lock of Rumney. I've been asking Stewart about these locks the Thames Conservancy Board operate to maintain the water's level. First, the lower gates are open to admit us, the water level inside the lock and outside the lower gates being the same. Glide in very carefully, taking pains not to scrape our sides or damage the stonework of the lock. Forward, these two young toughs, stalwart members of the crew, are ready with the rope which moors us inside, so that the ship remains steady while passengers embark and disembark. I sit here highly entertained by all that's going on. Safely moored, the lower gates are closed behind us and someone opens the sluices of the upper gate to admit water from the higher level above. Gradually, the water in the lock rises, and our little ship with it. Now the upper gate is open. Water in the lock having risen to the same level as that above the upper gate, well, this is an easy matter, and out we go. It's a pity to pass Rumney with undue haste. It's a charming little place, but Salter's guidebook shows that our next stop is at Windsor itself. Yes, there's the landing stage now. I think my program will be a quick lunch first, then a stroll round. There's an hour and a quarter to do it in. How compact Windsor is. The Southern Region station is practically on the river, and if ever one thought of doing so, one could stand in a train and throw a stone on the castle walls. William William the Conqueror built the original Castle Miranda, and successive kings have added bits which somehow managed to present a perfectly harmonious whole. The guides here are fond of showing you those corners closely associated with Henry VIII, and the splendour of that glorious epoch that followed his death still seems to linger within these royal walls, where the red-coated guards provide a splash of colour and pageantry beloved of Windsor's visitors. They stand for something, something that makes us quietly proud of being British. Or am I a bit sentimental? As an ordinary visitor, I find it a bit difficult to realize that in this great castle, I'm looking over the home of a reigning monarch. Every stone drips history. Outside the frowning walls lies the great expanse of rolling parkland and the famous Long Walk. Over the river lies Eton, still almost a village, but in our minds Eton and its college are inseparable. Eton College, where Britain's empire builders, her soldiers and statesmen were and still are trained in that system that makes for greatness. Boys have been learning at Eton since 1440, when King Henry VI founded the school in the meadows below his castle. So long as Eton stands, there will be boys. Boys with appetites to satisfy, with between-meal snacks at the school tuck shop. On our way again now, and though I know you'll think it odd of me, Miranda, it is difficult to restrain my interest in that western region loco. It's the schoolboy spotter in me, I suppose. Now, where are we? Oh, nearly at Boveney. Yes, I think it's Boveney. Yes, that's what Salter's guidebook says. You'd remember it, Miranda, because on the other side of this loch is that pleasant stretch of river to Bray and Maidenhead, which you liked so much. Even at cloudy moments, this bit of river has a charm of its own. And today, as the gentle sleep of autumn creeps over the unwilling trees, I think back to that trip we made together while the season was yet young. Floating homes of the river folk, the folk who don't confuse solitude with loneliness, still nuzzle at their moorings while the stream laps gently on her grassy banks. And there's that Hans Andersen castle again, Miranda. Apparently the Admiral's taking tea there this afternoon, and he's left his dreadnought in charge of the fairies at the bottom of the garden. Hereabouts the swans come out to eye us with the calculating glance of West End's trumpets. But we're on to Bray, whose renowned vicar, with much clerical diplomacy, survived the change from Stuart to Hanoverian dynasties, as we've heard. We are nearing Maidenhead now, where, as that witty young man said, actresses who spend weekends here think they're staying in the country, and there's every reason why they should. Here surely is a peaceful charm. Here comfortable English homes are set in gardens ablaze with the colourful witchery of the seed catalogues. Gardens riotous with flowers, whose vanity it is to peer at their bright perfection mirrored in the stream, till we, in our steamers, disturb their contemplations with a gentle ruffling of the water's surface. Somewhere I read once that the railway bridge at Maidenhead is the largest single-span brick bridge in the world. Well, in any case, it frames a pretty view of the old Maidenhead Road Bridge, a milestone on our upstream journey and in our social history too. Maidenhead, a favourite spot in those days of Edwardian peace and prosperity, when river girls in starched muslin dresses and picture hats and bewhiskered gallants in boaters and blazers thronged the reach to Bolter's Lock. Ascot Sunday is still an occasion at Bolter's, but today its sylvan beauty is ours alone. The lock keeper is opening the gates to admit us to one of the river's finest reaches, Miranda. And so, on we go. Cliveden certainly looks wonderful today, its hills cloaked in the leafy wonder of the summer-laden trees, trees whose tips are lightly gilded by the Midas touch of approaching autumn. The downstream boat from Henley is a cheery sight after all that concentrated loveliness, Miranda. I wonder if his passengers are enjoying their trip, as I am mine. Here is the real Thames, the teeming metropolis forgotten. The visitor accepts the river's gift of pleasures that only she can offer, pleasures he enjoys with the placid contentment of the munching herds in the neighbouring meadows. So that we don't tire of too much beauty at a single stretch, Mother Thames brings us the diversion of another lock. By now, all aboard here are more than just nodding acquaintances. We've discovered each other's destinations, we share an appreciation of the passing scene, we greet the lock people with an instinctive goodwill and compare their working methods. Then we consult the guidebook once more and find we're on to Marlow. Marlow, why there's music in the name. Business afoot here today. The clank of machinery breaks momentary into the peaceful scene. The passing glimpse of the complete angler excites an Isaac Walton thirst. Sorry we can't stay. I think we're being followed, but take no notice, we are not in a hurrying mood. There are gentle backwaters to admire here, and Mother Thames now opens up her treasury to reveal gem after gem of verdant loveliness, strung on the silver thread of this gently lingering stream. Stately trees glide past us, brushing with gentlest strokes a mute cerulean sky. And in the water's shining flood, the weir posts stand, white beacons, guiding us to sleepy Hambledon, whose lock welcomes us with open gates. beautiful they stand, these stately homes of England. And for how much longer will they remain so? I wonder a little sadly. But my reflections are brief. There is a stir aboard and an air of preparation as we pass a little leaden goddess in her Palladian temple, then sweep on into Henley's magnificent reach. Under the handsome bridge, past one of the most pleasant pubs I know, the Angel, and up to the landing stage. Here at Henley, passengers on morning boats from Kingston stay the night. And Henley's a pretty spot to stay a while, a place born of and living in close intimacy with the upper Thames. Yet it's but an hour's journey by train from London. But Henley's regatta, the first in the world, is its just claim to fame, and a lovelier course it would be difficult to imagine. Several steamer acquaintances are bidding farewells here. Some are returning to Kingston, while we continue on upstream in search of verdurous reaches, English landscapes, and more of this river's soul-soothing tranquility. The narrowing stream still has things to show for our pleasure. This small river world is one that knows little but itself, of its own untrammeled life. So on we chug to gentle Sunny, whose lock gardens are one of the Thames Conservancy's many prides, a place of pilgrimage for those who come from afar to admire the green-fingered lock keeper's skill. The village itself breathes tranquility, another worldliness, surviving in this modern age like a treasured relic of a half-forgotten past. It was a bright inspiration that brought me on this sentimental journey, Miranda. As I sit on the deck and watch the Western Region trains speeding to London, I feel I've no need for them yet. I enjoy sharing this river with the dwellers in its valley, perfectly content to let time and the world slip by unheeded, while for those to whom time means everything, well, alongside this silver stream, the iron horse races, serving the many for whom the river's treasures have no immediate appeal. Reading, the halfway house on my journey, with its ruins of a once great monastery. But its biscuit manufactories and its seed gardens flourish, and it's pleasant enough down by the stream here. Soon our little steamer sweeps beyond the reach of chimney smoke to those quiet spots where Mother Thames is minded tentatively to explore the countryside, winding sinuously through this green and pleasant land on her way to Maple Durham. A nice feature of these smaller locks is their intimate family atmosphere, where the lock-keeper's relations, or anyone else who happens to be around, lends a hand, putting shoulder to the wheel, or whatever is the right term, to get us on our way. Perhaps they sense our eagerness to be off as quickly as possible, for before us lies the lovely Pangbourne Reach. Whitchurch Lock, on the threshold of that area, where the local people, with plenty of time for everything, use these river steamers almost like buses. In this part of the valley, road, rail and river vie with each other, offering their several services in friendly competition. Trains dash to and from the metropolis, but for me, who have no need to hasten on this occasion, the river is my choice. Too soon, it seems, the tiny flower-strewn lock of Goring is upon us. This is generally a busy spot, both because it is a favourite with us trippers and because the local youth regard it as a rendezvous, which indeed it is. Enchanting backwaters are but a stone's throw from our steamer's deck, and away over there, the tumble of the weir murmurs incessantly in our ears. The village can show you pubs where summer visitors drown their thirsty conversations in the amber depths of good English beer. Country cottages, which would delight the eye of Christmas calendar designers, are common in this sleepy little town. A humpbacked bridge links Goring with Streatley, where the old Roman road crossed the famous Icknield Way. Now, Caesar's legions are replaced by riverside tea drinkers and husky rowing types for whom this stream has endless attraction. Goring. Not an easy place to leave, but Stewart was insistent. Plenty more to come, he said, mentioning places I'd half forgotten. But Skipper remembers them all, and what they'll reveal for our pleasure. So, while Stoker with beeful energy shovels on the fuel, our sturdy little engine races obediently. Downstairs in our cosy saloon, Edith is making tea and sandwiches, which she will presently bring up at our bidding. Ah, this is a pleasant way to make a journey. Tickets. I bought mine at Waterloo Station, a combined special rate rail and river one. There are lots of these combined tickets available, and they do save money and bother in rebooking. What's that pub? The Beetle and Wedge? We must be nearing Wallingford. Now that's a good thing too. These morning boats from Henley stop there for lunch. Remember we had some hot lobster with delicious sauce there last spring, Miranda? Sadly these green sedges sigh as we pass smoothly through their interlacing fronds, past the sleek herds of unheeding cattle who while away their days chewing reflectively, past those pipes for whom this stream provides another outlet for their energies, and on to Wallingford, with its intimate associations with Roman, Saxon, Danish and Norman conquests, its quaint streets, its architectural charms, and of course its hot lobster. Well, that was a nice break, Miranda. And now where are we going? Oh, there's that oldie-worldy house. Remember it? just where the stream begins to curve so invitingly round the open meadows. Now we've reached that lovely little bridge of Clifton Hampden, with its tiny village nearby, almost too Disney to be real. Then Cullen's toy bridge, gateway to its miniature lock beyond. Whenever I come to Abingdon's charming reach, Miranda, I feel just a little sad, because I know my trip is nearing its end. Today the village looks very peaceful, with the sun splashing its riverfront, as it did on that day when we explored its Inigo Jones Town Hall and its Tudor almshouses. Remember? Round the bend to that picturesque bridge, on whose parapet we once sat together watching the tiddlers in the stream. Abingdon, with wars forgotten, has regained its native tranquility. I wish I could linger here a while, but already we're gliding through the green-fringed waters of Newnham, cool and inviting in the afternoon sun. Steward tells me that the next lock, Sandford, is the deepest on the river, with a fall in the water level of 9 feet. Well, you'd remember it, Miranda, with its leaping arabesques of water tumbling in before our bow. Goodbye, Sandford. Again, it would have been nice to stay, or just half an hour, talk to your lock keeper, drink a cooling pint in your riverside inn. But now for Italy, and then beloved Oxford. One mile more. Reluctantly, each of us aboard here readjusts his mental focus. Already Oxford's reach lies before us like a great blue carpet spread in welcome. And in the distance, the houseboats, enjoying a long vacation rest from the turmoil of huskies shouting in their stately depths, ride serenely on the waters of this Isis. Journey's end, and before me the old Folly Bridge proclaims the fact. And so I collect my belongings. Coat, rug, no, that belongs to Salters. Ah yes, and my combined rail and river ticket. So that's all, now off we get. Oh, but you too are still lovely, Oxford, with your shining streets where myriad bicycles go drifting by, with your spires that dream up from your scholarly walls, aloof in their aura of age-old charm. So strange a contrast to the changing tides of perpetual youth that ever storm your venerable halls, a contrast that provides a harmony that is unique, a harmony that is you, Oxford. sweet Thames runs softly till I end my song. How well that Elizabethan Spencer phrased it for me, Miranda. And now, back to town. Here I am at Oxford Western Region Station. It took me 2 of the most pleasant days I've spent to reach here by river. And now I'm on my way home, and I'll be at Paddington within 90 minutes. Nearing Goring. I half wish I could jump from this comfortable carriage onto one of those little river steamers. But speed is the idea now. And so, Reading, the halfway house. Reading past just like that. Quite a junction for Henley. At once, all those pleasant memories of the river come crowding back. But this train isn't a bit nostalgic. Its target is London, and as quickly as possible. Not much further now. Better start collecting my things together. They do say that all good things come to an end, Miranda. My consolation is that I'm doing this combined trip again soon. And with you.